Welcome back, y'all. It is Tuesday, which means it is time to check out some more Betta tanks. Also, I've had a lot of y'all inquiring about getting your tanks featured in a video, and I will put information on how to submit your pictures or short video clips of your fish tanks in my description box below. So without further ado, let's check out some tanks. So for starters, we have a lovely, very elegantly put together tank. It looks plenty large enough for a Betta, although I don't know if I agree with some of the other fish that are in there. It might not be quite large enough to have as a community tank, but I'm not 100% sure of the size, the true size of this tank, but it looks like it might be around 5 gallons, which is probably too small for all these little schooling fish that are in here. But that aside, this is a good size probably for a Betta, and I really like the decor even though I prefer live plants. I say this is really well put together, and I would give it a 4 out of 5. And next up we have a lightly planted tank that looks like it's probably, I'm not sure, it looks like it could be around 3 gallons, it might be a little bit larger than that. And while I feel that this tank is a little bit bare, maybe once the plants start growing it a little bit more, it would be a really nice tank. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Here, I'm not entirely sure what's going on with this, but it's definitely not large enough for a Betta to live in, or any fish for that matter. It looks like some sort of drink dispenser. You can see there's a little spigot. This is not an appropriate tank for a Betta or any fish. Negative 10 out of 5. Next, we have what looks like it used to be a little gumball machine or something, and this thing is so filled. It's just so overly full. On top of the fact that this thing is way too small, we've got an insane amount of decorations in there, way too many rocks for and with all the roots from this plant that they've got going on in here, there's no room for this poor fish to swim. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, what is this? I can't even imagine trying to put a fish in there. This is just terribleness. This is just terribleness. Negative 1,000 out of 5. And here we have what looks like about a gallon jug, I would say. It looks like it's about a gallon. It's nicely put together, but it's still too small, and I don't see a heater and I don't see a filter. I will give them kudos for the live plant, and it is nicely, tastefully decorated, but it is not appropriate. I will give them a 2 out of 5 for trying, but it's really still not appropriate. Next up, I keep seeing these and I don't know why. I wish it would stop, but we have a hanging bowl. I really don't like seeing these types of tanks. Hanging bowls are not appropriate to keep fish in. Fish should not be hanging. It's inappropriate. The water's gonna slosh around. It's just not a good idea. It's such a bad idea on so many levels. So many levels. Fish is gonna jump out. It might make a nice decoration. It's not a good idea. Even anything hanging with that much water in it is probably a bad idea. Negative 1,000 out of 5. And next we have a little aquaponics type tank, but it looks, again, way too small. This looks like it's maybe, if I had to guess, I would say a half gallon. Probably a half gallon, maybe 0.75 or something like that, but it definitely looks like it's less than a gallon. It's too small. I do appreciate that they put a few live plants in there. I do appreciate that it is an aquaponics style tank, but I don't see a heater, I don't see a filter, it's way too small. Again, good on them for trying. I'll give them a 2 out of 5. And here we have what looks like 2 Bettas in cups. They're sitting on coasters, so these are obviously extremely small cups that they are keeping these fish in. Fish are not decorations. They're not just here to be a decoration or a centerpiece on your coffee table. They are living creatures. They do need appropriate tanks. They do need an appropriate environment. This is just awful. This is just abuse. This is probably not even a quarter of a gallon worth of water. It's just completely inappropriate. Negative 1,000 out of 5. Now, last but not least, I'm not entirely sure how large this tank is. It looks like it might be around a gallon or so. I love how densely planted it is, but I don't really see any kind of filtration. I don't see a lid, and I don't see a heater. It's possible that they live in a place where they don't require a heater. I do appreciate how densely planted this tank is. I think it is really pretty. I think the aquascape on this is really, really nicely done, but I don't see a lid and I don't see filtration or anything like that. Now, it could be densely planted enough that it might pass as far as filtration goes, but I still don't see a lid. Maybe there is one and I'm just not seeing it in the picture. So I really do love the aquascaping on this, so I'm gonna give them a 3 out of 5, but still not an appropriate tank. So anyway, guys, that's all I really have for y'all today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!